last session, the valedictory session, which is going to be chaired by Dr. Joy Lemon. And you know that what we have seen, our success in handling pandemic was in fact a return to the huge investment that we have made in mid 90s through people's planning, and that was spearheaded by none other than our current finance minister. And we cannot get a better person than Dr. Thomas Isaac to uh, kind of sum up what we have talked, what was deliberated upon last 2 days, and the possible way forward. So I invite Dr. Joy Lemon to chair the session. And yeah, please, Dr. Joy.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. Good evening to all. As Dr. Seema just mentioned, we are all eagerly waiting to hear from Dr. Thomas Isaac on how we move forward and consolidation of the summing up of the conference here. First of all, let me thank all the participants. Yesterday we had around 12,000 plus views. It's growing up. And at every point of time, we had at least 175 people online in each of these sections. However, for those who could not join yesterday and today, you can visit GIFT YouTube channel or KILA YouTube channel or KILA Facebook page, and everything would be available there. And the entire proceedings will be brought out as a volume, which will also be available on our website, KILA website, as well as the GIFT website. And for some of you who had asked about various experiences, many of local government experiences are being shared at the KILA website. Some of them have the English subtitles also. Okay, and this webinar, of course, is a different platform which we are not totally used to, but I think we all managed it. This was meant to be a platform for sharing experiences and to learn from each other, from all the states. But we have to move on. Immediate actions are required, and long-term actions are also required to strengthen local government system in the country as well as for Kerala. And of course, it has to be a new way of working and functioning. Probably, I would say, a new Panchayat Raj post-COVID. Let's also remember that this is the 25th year of the People's Plan campaign, which was started in the year 1996. The new government formed under the leadership, chief ministership of Comrade E.K. Nayanar on 20th May 1996. Another 2 more days. And then it was on 6th June 1996 that the cabinet decided to launch this campaign as well as Sen committee and all others. So with these words, I actually hand over the mic to Dr. Thomas Isaac.
Dear friends, this year is the 25th anniversary of People's Plan campaign. And we were all reflecting upon what has happened in the last 25 years. Of course, there is enough to be proud about. There has not been a setback, but we have been moving forward. At the same time, there was a general feeling that everything is getting routinized. The participation was not improving. An element of bureaucratization is setting in, and so on. So we were wondering how this 25th anniversary can be utilized as an occasion to re-energize the democratic decentralization movement in Kerala. And paradoxically, the pandemic has provided an opportunity I think this is a turning point, not only for Kerala, but for other states as well, for India. The democratic decentralization has ceased to be an issue in the mainstream policy debates. 3 years back, we had the 25th anniversary of the passage of 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment. Kerala was the only state that celebrated it. There's an eerie silence about something that happened in India which raised so much expectations about transformation. Well, that's a pointer to what is happening to local governments generally. Of course, because the Constitution says so, there are regular elections. Even there have been laggards. So formal structures are there. But otherwise, in terms of funds available, actual functions and functionaries, there has been a retrogression taking place. But now, the presentations here yesterday showed even everywhere, every state in India, the local governments are in action. The long arms of center and state governments cannot reach out to the Indian villages. Therefore, you want to fight COVID, you want local sanitation, local surveillance, or any other mitigation effort, there has to be local level intervention. And like it or not, local governments are coming into play. And therefore, may this webinar start a big conversation in India. The picture, large picture that emerged from yesterday's discussion is the local governments have been much more active in the South India. And not just Kerala alone, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and so on. Then would come North and East India. Lot of interesting events taking place. But I think the North and Western India, it is very, very stagnant, slightly disappointing what is happening. But even there are outstanding examples which shows what is the potential of local government. And therefore, to carry forward this dialogue, there are two proposals that have been coming up in the discussions, which I endorse, and we will have to take a decision on this. That is, one, we will have a volume of what's happening in each state in India. The participants from the states who spoke yesterday, they could prepare such a report. But, we don't have the academic luxury of taking indefinite time. Within 2 weeks, we should have a draft. We didn't call it paper, but even a descriptive statement will be good, which can be published now and later into a book, a volume. So that something is available, documented, what's happening to local governments in India, a point of reference. So Kila and Gift would undertake this task. Contact each of the persons. And some of the states were not represented. We should get some people from those states also. So immediate action on that within, say, by early next month, we should have this volleyball. And I hope that will spark some debate and discussion. Second, I think it's very important that we make a collective intervention with the 15th Finance Commission and also central government. It's a pity that we have so-called 20 lakh stimulus program. I've been listening to each press conference. Not once the name of local government has been mentioned. It's a tragedy. Particularly in the India second edition, local government has become, almost totally neglected. And therefore, I think I propose Raghu, Vijayanand, and any other person who is willing to contribute, M.N. Roy, Meenakshi Sundaram, draft a memorandum to the Finance Committee, which we shall submit, and requesting for additional finance for the local governments. Now there is no tradition of having interim reports in between. Whatever has been submitted is the final report for 2021. But for the rest of the next 5 years, the report is under preparation, and I'm certain this is going to take more time. And therefore, we should make an intervention to ensure there is additional money made available to the local governments. These are two things that come out of yesterday's discussion. And today we have been discussing about Kerala experience. That's been extremely rewarding. I'll start with the Panchayat panel presentations. Marvelous. I think for outsiders, there's only a flavor of what's happening on the ground in Kerala. Each of the panelists could have spoken. Perhaps language is a problem, but they have so much to say, so much to share. And particularly Seema head of the mission team. Congratulations, the last session was very well systematically arranged with videos and so on. So you asked this discussion should continue. I know Kila has a program of Facebook Live once a week, no? Every day evening, okay. Yeah. But that would be in Malayalam. What I propose something in English, so that outside persons, outside state also are inspired to explore what could be done with through the local governments. So now Kerala every Sunday is a lockdown, total lockdown day. None of the participants here can really go out and do any other activity. Everybody is supposed to stay indoors. In fact, this we have come to this here in GIFT, with special permission of government. Yeah, we receive an order permitting us to travel and stay, come here. Even the ministers are expected to stay back at home. Secretariat is totally down. My press conference was here. It's just in the outside. So that being the case, let's explore the possibility of having continue a series of presentations on Sunday. Let's see the material available, how soon they can be produced. But it will have to be in English so that other outsiders can understand what's happening. We can take on what the Kila Facebook Live, select panchayats from there. And I know most of panchayats have videos and other documentations. Those who are outside must have seen our panchayat offices. They are all ISO certification. Okay. I tell you, our local government offices are the best government offices in Kerala. Even most of the departments would be very jealous of the kind of facilities that the local government offices do have. So I am certain there will be documentations there, and Haritha Mission could team up with Kila, and we can decide to have a series of presentations on Sundays so that we can also learn what is happening in various places and others also be inspired by it. So that's my response to Seema's request. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, today we started the discussion with disaster management, role of local governments, disaster management. Even yesterday, that was a theme of discussion. In fact, apart from Kerala, Odisha has given even further to have a formal recognition of the role of local governments in disaster management. Some of the issues that were thrown up in the discussion was, how do you formalize this role of local government? There has been a suggestion that Disaster Management Act, though it recognizes local authority, and local authority is interpreted as, not interpreted, local authority is the local government. But nevertheless, how do we have, there has been suggestion that the law itself be changed. And there is role clarity. In the morning, I mean, decentralizing, involving local government doesn't mean that disaster management can be decentralized totally. No. Respected health minister made that comment in the morning. There would have to be a centralized plan. There will be a state disaster plan, district disaster plan, and local government disaster plan. And local government disaster plan would have to be within the framework of the district disaster plan, management plan. And that would have to be in the state level disaster management plan within the framework. And in every pandemic or health emergency or natural emergency, there would be advisories and guidelines from the top. Nobody can deny all that. But nevertheless, what Manishankar Ayerji always says about the activity map, what is to be done at the local level, what would be done at the district level, what would be done at state level. I think we have to do the activity mapping and a clear understanding of that. Now, the discussion on Kerala brought out, and also other states yesterday, the important role of local governments in disaster management. As Harilal said, has established the role of LSGs in disaster management, the pandemic. Now, looking back on Kerala, I think there has been an organic growth of involvement of local governments in disaster management. I think they say monthly floods, every pre-monsoon cleaning, preparing for the monsoon outbreaks of various type of epidemics. That has been going on for some time on a regular basis, and local governments do play a very important role. I think that is the earliest interventions that regularly be made by local governments. Then came the floods. Ambrose was here. No, I promised to translate for Ambrose, but then I didn't. My attention got distracted. You know, I grew up adjacent to Ambrose Panchayat, across the backwater. And therefore, I know what floods in that area means. And this two floods, the kind of role local governments played in the flood mitigation program is, I mean, only those who have seen it would believe. Most of the local government representatives were not sleeping at all. And really, they have been field. I know foreign representative team coming to one of our relief camps in Alapi. Senior member asked me, which NGO is running this camp? Because there is a whole, you don't believe it is a relief camp. There's a whole festive thing, children's games, this, that, and so on. You don't get a feel that it's a relief camp. People have lost the houses are coming and staying there. Initially, I didn't understand the question. And I realized, then I pointed out, oh, there is my NGO. What is that? My Panchayat president. Yeah. So the floods was a big learning process. I think we in the government also suddenly understood that local governments, they did the work, you see. Evacuating, for example, from Kuttanad, something like 50,000 persons in one day without a single fatality. And then after 2 weeks, rehabilitating all of them. We had prepared an elaborate program of tracking the fever and other epidemics that would inevitably be appearing. But nothing. Because every house, every pathway was clean before people were taken back to the house. And this could have been possible only by local government mobilization. So this was a very important moment, the floods. And there were two things happening. That was biodiversity. Every panchayat has a biodiversity register, biodiversity report of varying qualities and so on. But that activity has been going on. And that's a very important education process. And then came climate change into the discussions. Maybe may not everybody would have understood what was meant, but there are panchayats claiming the object, claiming to pursue carbon neutrality for the panchayat. Anyway, I've been involved in a panchayat in Wayanad, where very scientifically carbon emission was say calculated, net emission. Then their panchayat plan is an attempt, brave attempt to reduce the carbon emission. Then still there is a net emission taking place. How to sequester it by planting trees. And in some time, and there is also a very interesting model of financing this tree planting scheme. It is considered to be an agricultural operation. The local cooperative bank gives every month, every year, 50 rupees per tree as a loan to be repaid when the tree is cut. The tree is pledged. These are marvelous innovations here. So now from this one panchayat, Minangadi, now this become a district level program. Carbon neutral Wayanad. Now this is not just for the climate. This is to brand their coffee. And coffee to be sold as a carbon neutral area of coffee. And therefore, this is part of agricultural rejuvenation of the district. It's very interesting. In fact, local governments are on the forefront of this. So you have the climate change, and all of them have fed into the local disaster management reports. In fact, two persons who have taken the most interest in this exercise for certain reason couldn't be here. Renu, Principal Secretary, Revenue, because disaster management is Revenue Department's area as per the rules of business, and Principal Secretary LSD in Kerala, Sharada Muralidharan. See, all these streams I've been discussing have ultimately merged organically. There is an organic process into local disaster management plans. Now, in between, the pandemic has intervened, as we discussed in the morning, it's an incremental process. It has to be improved. Fantastic inputs have been given to the local governments by the disaster management authority, state disaster management authority regarding overlay maps of from 30 in number of every aspect of the panchayat. So you can have fantastic special planning. These are new possibilities. So this will be this report, improving it over time, would be a very important component of local level planning, which lead us also into very rigorous spatial planning. So this is the stage. It's while this preparation of disaster management plan, etc., was going on, the pandemic struck. So therefore, I think this context is very, very important to see how easily, how quickly, how efficiently local government slipped into the new role. And I don't want to repeat what case study people have said, but I want to say one thing. The primary healthcare centers, except for the tertiary sector, other medical institutions are transferred institutions to local governments. Which means local governments have a control over them. It's under dual control, put it that way. They are under dual control. Both the staff as well as functions. Of course, there are certain things local governments cannot intervene. Medical protocols and so on. But local governments, we can document one, that in fact the health minister in the morning said so. See, we have been financing the tertiary sector improvement. Something like 4,000 crores of rupees in the last 3-4 years in improving medical colleges, district hospitals, taluk hospitals, and so on. But our primary health center has gone a big overhaul. In fact, majority of the primary healthcare centers which have gained accreditation, I think large percentage, is from Kerala. And this transformation was possible by the local governments putting the money for the physical infrastructure. See, why do we decentralize? We decentralize so that the basic argument is that there will be better allocation of resources. That's the economic reason given. Because you know the local priorities, what people want, and therefore you allocate better. And for the people in Kerala, and I'm certain for most of the country, health is an important priority. It's only for the Delhi, health is not an important priority, spending something like 1.5% of the GDP on health. But for the people, this is a big priority. And all local plans do reflect this priority of the people. Over time, the allocation for health has improved and increased. So they have contributed to the physical infrastructure of all primary health centers. And now, traditionally, there used to be only one doctor. And in that ratio, nurses and so on in the primary health center. Now, half of them have 3 doctors. Government has given one additional, local government is giving the salary for an additional person from their city. So that now the OP clinic is there in the morning as well as in the evening. They provide additional money for medicine. Government budget is over, then the local government steps in. So personnel, drug, and physical infrastructure, plus the community participation, the surveillance system. Today you had a presentation from Arya. Unfortunately, they didn't go into reverse quarantine. What that panchayat? Not one panchayat. It's about 5 panchayats joining together. Now this is going to be extended. They have collected health data of all citizens, digitalized them. On that basis, triangulated identify potential people who would have been getting cancer, cardiac problem, hypertension, and so on, and they had them screened. And medicine is provided from the sub-centers for people uh, on the recommendation prescription of the PHC. And now we have this data. Do you know what these panchayats are going to do? You have now scientifically drawn out all vulnerable people in this panchayat. Panchayat are going to serve notices by name. You in this household, these people have to stay indoors. The seniors, respectable people, including the panchayat member, would visit the house and tell them, no, you have to stay inside. We have using CDAC's telemedicine program, where anybody can phone up, but is screened at a control room, so that if a health worker can and see which doctor they should talk to. An appointment is fixed with that doctor. Most people won't be able to handle say, video, telephone, and so on. Therefore, somebody, health worker, will visit the house at that particular time, call up the doctor, connect, and tell the person, talk to the doctor. That's the telemedicine. Drugs will be delivered. For 2 years, all the destitute families in this area, destitute, free food is made available at the doorstep. And this is going to continue and expand. Including Dr. Chitra, mental health. They have been, as part of this program, they have been coming. And there's a mental health program. And palliative. Even before now, we started this telemedicine program. A palliative organization was already experimenting with. Now, this is the total reverse quarantine. You protect your vulnerable. We will not leave them to death. No. Kerala will exit the lockdown, and will restart and reopen the economy. But our vulnerable will be totally protected. See, which state government can do this? And you have, I was saying earlier in the particular session, Community Medicine Department in Alappuzha is fully working out this model, working on a day-to-day basis there. Medical students come forward. See, these are certain marvelous examples. I don't want to go into, I can go on narrating this kind of innovations that are taking place in many panchayats. One thing, say, Sima, if you are listening, the presentations that you're trying to tell everything. You should just concentrate on certain innovative program done and go into details. Particularly it will be useful for the later our discussions. Okay. So that is there. So what is, and for example, the health minister said, Kerala's success in handling pandemic has been, you test, but more than testing, it is that you trace everybody. Anyway, diseases come from outside. Trace everybody who has got in contact. And then isolate them. If they show any symptom, test them. But when they go out of isolate, test them, and then positive, to give them treatment, the best treatment. But you would have stayed 14 days or 15 days. And therefore, when you leave this observation ward or the house, well, even if you are asymptomatic, you are not going to spread it. Our note is the lowest in Kerala. I don't say the numbers because Rajiv tells me you have not done enough testing to give numbering. But obviously, it has to be significantly below unity. See, can this be done, this strategy be done, without the participation of the local people and local community? See, Economist titled the article on Kerala, The Bargain. Because if you look at the number of tests and so on, is so limited when compared to what is happening today in the developed countries. But still, it has been done. It has been flattened. Wow, that's the bargain. That bargain is possible because there is a powerful local government uh, in Kerala. So community kitchen and so on. I don't want to repeat it. All these are possible only because we have been able to. There's a powerful local government and mobilize people who have that trust. See, in the webinar, Rajiv Sadanandan was speaking about competitive politics in Kerala. Yeah. But interesting feature is at the state level, we go for each other. That's the political culture that has been that. Okay, opposition feels they have to criticize and so on. But in our local government, there is no opposition. Because there is a kind of proportional representation even given for the standing committee chairperson. So everybody has a stake in the governance. And it is 50-50. So after local governments belong to opposition. And there is a competition to prove who's performing better. And therefore, there is the political culture at the local level is something very different. A transformation that People's Plan campaign was trying to achieve. And I think I feel enthused by the experience at the local level. Now, let me conclude. What's going to happen? How pandemic is going to influence the future of local governance in Kerala? I think certain new priorities are going to come up. Health is going to be the priority, even greater priority. Because suddenly because this pandemic is going to continue for another year, and therefore definitely this will leave a lasting impact upon our local level priority. But the presentations here of the local governments pointed out, they are not going to be just a health sector alone. Health is a multi-sectoral issue. It's not just hospital and medicine and doctor. Clean environment, sanitation, good food, nutrition, and drinking water. These are very key components of health. And the presentations here shows that there is a growing awareness of the intersectoral linkages of health problems, health emergency. And local governments are all into kind of self-sufficiency, at least for vegetables, milk, egg, and so on. The Subiksha program, everybody was repeating about. Kerala, we were thinking, you get remittances, you can buy anything. And therefore, we were leaving our multi-crops land, homestead land cultivation was deteriorating. The paddy fields were getting fallow. But now there is a fear. Even if you have money, you can't buy them. You may not get them. Supply chains be broken. And therefore, now there is a big campaign. Local governments are in the front of the exit strategy also. This agriculture is going to be out first. And look at the way everything is being planned at the local level. The integration of the department with the local government. So the exit strategy and implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission, again, local governments are going to have very key role in the drinking water and so on. I don't want to take more time. So these activities are going to be coming to much more prominence, and local governments are going to play a very important role in them. And importantly, this morning, both Iqbal and Rajesh Sadanandan were saying that initial year, we have a very interesting paper by Dr. Joy Element, Iqbal, Frankie, and was one more person. Yeah. And the first years of people's planning, Jose Chathukulam has a paper which is critical. Because there was uneasiness among the medical community, also the local level interference. How do they interfere in health and so on? Now, big transformation has come. Look at the way the health department and local governments are working together. Now, an important transformation that is going to come, institutional transformation that's going to come in the local government system is greater integration of the line departments with the local government. The kind of many tensions that have always been there. It doesn't matter which government is there. Department is department, hierarchical, answering upwards. And you don't accept somebody interfering in between horizontally. Now this pandemic conditions is going to change it. There is going to be greater integration between the vertical departments and the horizontal spread local governments. So the best result is going to be seen in the agriculture, the sanitation, in each of this, even in drinking water. Only local governments then would have to be strengthened. Strengthening is not as much in money, but in terms of personnel. More people are required. But there is surplus in many sectors in government. I have already appointed a committee to look into again. See, I don't think before pandemic we could have thought about this kind of redeployment. Stopped in it was done in the first time of the lab, then continued in the next UDF government, then ended with the next left government that came. Then it just not in the agenda. Everybody thought this agenda was closed. No. This experience under pandemic has now reopened this agenda. So even in Kerala, this pandemic, our local governments have involved in it, in meeting this challenge, is going to give lasting impact. And I am certain in the rest of India also. So that way, this webinar has been an important talk taking. The conversations here have definitely going to give some, we have already said about 2 things that we are going to do at national level. And as for the Kerala, definitely local government department will be looking into it. The committees which are coming will be looking into it. And some of the issues people have pointed out, particularly Kutti Ammudagutti, CP John, and so on. We will examine them. There is no thinking that we have found ultimate solution. We should keep the conversations going. So it has been a great webinar. I hugely learned and enjoyed. I'm certain you will also share this. And I want to say that health and local government session today, something out of the world. Very, very. I learned a lot. You got a lot of insights. I'm certain this view will be shared by those who have been attending the webinar. I thank you all. Thank you all very much for participating, for contributing, and let's work together. Thank you.
Hello. Any seminar or webinar should have a formal thanking. Should I do that? If I am permitted, I will take maybe another 2 minutes. I think Mr. Chairman and Honorable Finance Minister, you may agree with me that a person who is going to be most happy at this time will be none other than Dr. K. N. Raj. The first working paper of CDS remained there for almost 25 years. And in your hand, that working paper, with the support of EMS Namboodiripad and D.K. Nayanar, became people's move. You will say that. Okay.
And not only Ken Raj, Professor Gulati. If you look back into Kerala's this experiment in decentralization, there are major three streams which have contributed to it. One is academic. I don't think Ken Raj and Gulati have in their life participated in a dharna. First time in front of the secretariat in Kerala, protesting against the dilution of the conformity legislation in Kerala. Second was not only academics, a number of say, administrators, some of whom attended, starting with M. Abraham, say Vinod Roy. See, we were experimenting with 1/3 of the plan of Kerala without say even a budget manual for the local governments. And here was a senior administrator willing to experiment, allow you to have ad hoc. Then there were the third stream of civil society organization, what Rajiv said today, which were scaled up to a state level. And finally, a political vision, because the scaling up involves politics, policy decision. So I think very
our
good
teachers,
that you mentioned Dr. Raj and Gulati
the point is
also.
that by the time I joined CDS, you are our teachers, and that working paper, first working paper remained, and that got transformed to people's planning, and you became kind of academicians' envy and politicians' pride. And today we are almost confident that thanks to that kind of investment that we made, pre-COVID, Kerala was able to, overcome the flood. And during COVID, that became a major asset. And you are now saying that, in the third phase and even post-COVID, that asset of what is called people planning that we have created, that is going to help Kerala. I think that's going to be, I think we will have another webinar maybe after 1 year to see what is it going to be. Okay, dear friends, dignitaries, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I think yesterday we went up to almost 7:30. Today we are lucky that we could complete, if I am brief, it will be over by 6:25, 6:30. We must thank all of you. We are extremely delighted that GIFT could join hand with Killa to organize it. And behind this, we had our local administration minister and our finance minister in conceiving this idea, and we are extremely happy. And for us in GIFT, in 27th and 28th of April, we organized a webinar on fiscal federalism and COVID. And in that webinar, an idea of the local self-government came, and in fact, our chairman took up this idea, and Dr. Joy and colleagues joined, and we reached where we are today. And you all, very liberally, you agreed to join with us and honored our chairman's invitation, and we had an excellent outcome. And we only commit you that, as chairman rightly said, as honorable minister rightly said, within 15 to 20 days, in the next month, we will make some tangible outcome out of it. And we thank all of you. We don't, because we all individually thanked earlier, but the people who worked very hard to make this a success are not, they are the invisible hands. They are sitting elsewhere. And we have I'm compelled to mention the name of Shrija, Shaiju, Anil, Varun, Abhilash, then Arun, and administrative staff of GIFT under the able leadership of Registrar. And we have Neha and Miraj from the colleagues of Dr. Joy Lemon. And of course, I am sure there might be others. And of course, the Rubam, our video people, they have done a wonderful job. You guys, we should have given you a nice, all of them deserve a nice applause. We are giving you a nice applause. And I don't think that I have left anyone, and all the support staff of, and of course, my colleagues, the faculty colleagues, they didn't turn up today, but they were, they were very, very active over the YouTube, and they are giving a lot of feedback. And I think I have not left anyone, I'm sure, but I think if anyone is left out, it is not by intent, by professor has the right to forget. Okay, that's it. So thank you very much. And we look forward to you kind of seeing you in another occasion. And on behalf of, okay, you want to say one, okay. Okay, Joy is very liberal on that. Okay, I said thank all of you on behalf of Dr. Joy. Thank you very much. And I, Chairman, I don't need to thank you, I suppose. Okay, you don't like it also, I know it. And of course, I have my, we have my former directors and 2 senior colleagues, and they are also CDS colleagues, CDS products. They are here. Thank you very much. Dr. Jose and Professor Narayana, thank you very much. Everyone, I thank you. Thank you. That's it.
Oh my God.